Hey guys, stepping in here before we start off today's buy, sell, or hold with my main man Jalen Sandvick talking about the NBA playoffs. I do want to let you guys know that this was recorded prior to the Denver Nuggets firing Mike Malone. My reaction to the firing is from yesterday's emergency podcast of Brandon's World is down below on both audio and video podcasting platforms. So make sure you check that out. And now let's get to today's episode buy, sell, or hold NBA playoff edition with Jalen Sandvick. I want to set sort of the standard, the rules, if you will, of what we're doing here today. Because I asked Jalen, I said, you know what, Jalen? These NBA playoffs are going to be incredible. There's a lot of storylines out there. And especially in the West, right? I mean, the West 2 through 8 could be any seed right now as we're sitting here today, the last week of the regular season. So I really thought, let's take, teams, let's take scenarios, let's take players, let's do a stock, let's do buy, sell, or hold like we've done in the past. But I'm going to make a little bit of an amendment today because Jalen is such an NBA fan. Whatever I say, whether I buy a stock, sell a stock, or hold a stock, Jalen, if you disagree with my take, I'm going to let you push back a little bit today.
Okay. I also want you guys to know I told Brandon before I came on the air, you guys love this game a lot. This is one of my favorite games, one of Brandon's favorite games, one of your guys' favorite games to watch. I don't write these. And Brandon gave me the fattest eye roll I've ever seen. I don't write these. I come on here and I spitball these. So,
insane, by the way, and the chemistry we have is insane. I have pretty much called Jalen our game show host on this show. We don't do it a lot during the fall because we're so knee deep in football, but this is the time of year where we can do sort of these macro topics like this.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it. Kick it off. We are going to decide if I'm going to buy a stock, if I'm going to hold a stock, or if I'm going to sell stocks of the NBA. Here we go.
All right. My first question coming out of the Eastern Conference, aka the Cavs Conference, aka the best team in basketball. The Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers will meet in the ECF, and the Cavs will win in 5 games.
Ooh, okay. So all of that included, that is a hold. And it's closer to a sell than a hold because there's part of that take I like and there's part of it I don't like. The Cavs and Celtics are going to meet in the Eastern Conference Finals. That part of it is an absolute buy all day of the week. There is no other scenario in the East that I see even plausible. I do think it is a buy that the Cavs are going to win that series. But I think it is a sell that they are going to win it in 5 games. I think the series at least goes 6. And to be honest with you, I think there's about a 70 to 80% chance that there will be a game 7 in this series in Cleveland at Rocket Arena, probably on Memorial Day. That's the way I view that series.
If there is a game 7, you could bet your bottom dollar I will empty out my pockets. And I will be.
You can do that. I still don't know if you're going to be able to afford to go to the game,
but I will try. All right, I strongly disagree. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're miles better than Boston.
Miles better. Okay.
Hear me out. So they just broke the record for most threes in a season, correct?
Yes.
They shoot one game. They shot 65 threes.
By the way, they can shoot more. I mean,
listen. Fair enough. About 20 to 30 of those are probably gonna fall. But what if they're ice cold? What if?
I agree, but the problem is I think they could be ice cold for 1 or 2 games, but I don't know if they're going to be ice cold for 4.
Even if they're ice cold for 2, we beat them by 40.
Yes, but that's only 2 games. Like I don't see a world where this is a game 5 in the ECF and it's not 2-2.
Well, I'll get my popcorn ready if that's the case.
Like by the way, I think each team could win a game on the other's home court. I think this will be a series of who shoots the ball better from 3. I literally think you could see a combined 170 threes taken in a game between the two teams in a game in this series.
See, I don't know about that because we are very disciplined in the fact that if we're not hitting shots, it's going to the big guys. It's going to Jared Allen. It's going to Evan Mobley.
You know that. Boston, there is going to be that urge of all they do is shoot. We have to match them.
That's fair, and we have matched them all year. They beat us once?
That was a 3-point game. Or no, they beat us twice. They beat us in Boston and Cleveland. They gave us a little bit of a beatdown. But then we got them back in Boston.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Remember that game? Jason Tatum was so hot. The great Jason Tatum. And they started off 28-3 and then ended up losing the game by like double digits.
The most overrated player in the NBA.
That's a pie.
Here we go. We're gonna move conferences here. We're gonna give it a little shift.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder because right now they are the hottest team in basketball outside of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Shai Gilgeous Alexander, SGA, Shea, whatever you want to call him. James Harden 2.0, I've heard. Shea, if the Thunder win the NBA Finals, Shea will be the Finals MVP.
Oh, I think that's without a doubt a buy. I don't see another world in which Jalen Williams or Chet Holmgren. I think those would be the other 2 candidates. But I said, and maybe this ties into a question you have down the line, so I'm not going to give away my answer completely. But I think Oklahoma City, could they win the NBA Finals? Yes. Could they make the Finals? Yes. They've been the best team in the NBA record-wise all year long from day one, especially in the West. But to me, Jalen Williams is a really good player. Chet Holmgren's a really good player, but they have injury history and they're inconsistent. And I don't know. I think it's more likely the Cavs make the Finals than Oklahoma City. I'll put it like that. But if the Thunder do win the Finals, he is absolutely will be the MVP.
Here's my thing. He's not the most valuable player in the league right now. The most valuable player in the league is Nikola Jokic.
That's a buy 100%. SGA will win MVP. And, because we like to split up MVP awards, and I get it. There's voter fatigue and whatever. But Jokic has now entered the category of, and I know you don't like when I put this man in the MVP conversation, but let's face it, LeBron could have won the MVP for 10 straight years. I think Jokic could win the MVP for 10 straight years.
Oh, you stop it. You stop it with the LeBron in 10 straight years MVP. Stop it.
I mean, he should have won it in 18. He should have won it in 20.
No, absolutely not.
Should have won it in 20 for Giannis. Should have won it in 18 over James.
Whoa. 20? In the bubble? The tournament ring? The Mickey Mouse ring?
Before the bubble, LeBron was better than Giannis that year.
Stop it
that I will pull up and send you.
Oh, you stop that.
Okay.
This is blasphemy.
Okay.
This is ridiculous. Okay. Listen, we're going back to the East, all right? We're going back to the East. You are saying some blasphemy things. I'm running off like 4 hours of sleep. I'm fired up today. We're going back to the East. All right. The Hawks, if they make the playoffs, which I think they will give the Cavs the most fight in their journey to winning.
Complete sell. This will be a complete sweep. I'm not afraid of Atlanta. Trae Young is about 4 foot 2 inches tall in the playoffs. Where the rules change and you can beat people up. Atlanta's a poor man's version of the Cavs, where they will just shoot threes and they will end up missing a ton, and the Cavs big man will take advantage. At the most, Atlanta may steal a game 4 at home when the Cavs are up 3-0, and the Cavs can finish them off in Cleveland. But Atlanta's a joke. Chicago, I like as a team, but they're not even close to Cleveland. Or Orlando can't shoot. Any of the teams that make the play in for the Eastern Conference will be theoretically undisposed by Cleveland and Boston very early in the first round.
Barbecue chicken, as Shaq says.
Like
That's what it
the
is.
Eastern Conference play-in, I don't give a rip about. It could be any of the 4 teams: Miami, Atlanta, Chicago, Orlando. Whoever wins out of those 4, whoever the 2 representatives are for the 7 and the 8 seed, will be demolished.
Oh yeah. That's fish. That's bait. That's bait. That's fish bait. That is shark bait for the big boys in the East. All right. Let's talk about this. Let's talk more Cavs. I got a lot of Cavs on my mind because
Okay. So
we're
let's keep score here. I have 1 buy, I have 1 sell, and I have 1 hold. We're even.
I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm doing pretty good. Okay. The biggest factor for Cleveland will be if the bench shows up in the playoffs.
You know what? I'm going to sell that.
Whoa.
And let me explain to you why. I don't think benches win championships. I think star players win championships. And I think the biggest reason why the Cavs would not make the finals would be because Donovan Mitchell or Evan Mobley came up small.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Listen, do you know what the Warriors bench did to us in 2015? Do you know what Sean Livingston was picking us apart?
He was great, but that didn't win them the championship. Yes, it gave them a boost. Now, I'm not saying that bench guys aren't important, because you look at what Denver did when they won the championship. It was those role players, right? It was, Christian Braun. It was Jeff Green. It was KCP. Even last year for Boston, right? It was Derek White. It was Peyton Pritchard. It was Porzingis. But in terms of the reason why you lose, you don't lose because bench players don't play well. You win because bench players provide you spark. You lose when your stars don't play like stars.
To be fair, I understand that. But to be fair, if Sam Merrill is going 0 for 6 from 3, we're in trouble. Listen,
I agree, but could Donovan Mitchell make that up by going for 35 or 40?
Well, what if a night where he's a little cold? Then you need those guys. You need DeAndre Hunter.
It's more likely that the stars are going to play like stars and the benches do not play as well in a postseason setting, especially on the road.
Also, Isaac Okoro, do not touch the basketball down the floor. Thank you.
And don't get me started. Oh my God. Listen, okay, I'm watching the Knicks game on Wednesday. That was let me just say this, okay? That was the best game I've seen Isaac Okoro play in a long time on the defensive end of the floor. I was like, who is this? This is a new guy. And then when they kick it out to the right corner and he is shooting and he's not even coming freaking close to the rim, it reminds you that Isaac Okoro should only be in the Cavalier lineup when they're up 20 with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
I told my dad as soon as he shot that shot, I looked at my dad, I said, that should have been DeAndre Hunter shooting that.
Yep.
It should have been Hunter coming down that side. It should never with a stupid bright green shoes. It should never be you, Isaac. It should never be you.
So we have 2 sells, 1 buy, and 1 hold.
I'm buying that. I'm buying it. But I feel like we got to talk about the dark horse in the East, or maybe the hottest team in the NBA right now. We got to talk about the Pistons. The Pistons will make a Cinderella story type run this postseason.
No, that's a complete sell. Complete sell. Do you want to know why, Jalen?
Because the Cleveland Cavaliers exist.
Well, it's because their coach's name is
Oh yeah,
J.B. Bickerstaff, and that's all you need to know.
I didn't even think about that. You were right. They're where we were 2 years ago.
Lord and Savior Jesus, I pray the Detroit Pistons remain a 4 or 5 seed and they can upset the Indiana Pacers in the first round. Because if we get to play them in the second round, we will send JB Bickerstaff and his Pistons back to Detroit so quick their head will spin.
Oh yeah, that's a 4-game sweep. Oh man, how sweet would that be too? Hitting a 3 right in front of JB's face and then screaming at him like you would every official ever.
And then meanwhile, JB Bickerstaff will rip up his paper and then complain like he did about a month ago that the Pistons never get any calls and always screaming at the refs like he always does, as Jalen just said.
Listen. I watched your show. I'm not sure who you had on, but you recorded it during the Magic game.
Oh yeah, Andy, my good friend of the show, Andy Z.
Yeah. Shout out Andy. Like that guy. Good takes. He's 100% right. JB Bickerstaff. Look, buddy. I know your friend's a Pistons fan, but Lord help his soul for the next 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 years. Because, God, there were nights, if you scroll up, if I ever get arrested and they go through my phone and they scroll up in mine and Brandon's chat log.
What example is this?
If they ever scroll through mine and yours chat logs, the amount of stuff I've said about JB Bickerstaff and how much I want him to be fired and sent so far away from the game of basketball is astronomical. It is a hate crime, okay?
As you know, I have called him the worst head coach in the history of basketball. I don't care what his regular season record is. The guy can't coach his way out of a paper bag.
The guy can't coach without just standing on the sidelines, taking a breath.
Last year for Easter, I was in Denver. I saw Cavs Nuggets live. I got to see the best player in the freaking world, Nikola Jokic. My God. I watched JB Bickerstaff have a fight with veteran NBA official that we all know, Scott Foster. I swear to God, it was like watching a football coach fight.
Oh, but I'm not gonna lie though. Every time I go to a game and Foster's reffing it, buddy, I am heated too. Don't worry. That's one thing JB is right about. I hate Scott, and I always will.
Hey, you know what they say? Outside of the NFL, if you know an official's name, it's never a good thing.
No, it is not. And to be fair, Scott's the only one I know by first and last name.
Yeah, well, no, there's Zach Zarba. There's Tony Brothers.
Oh, Tony Brothers. Yeah, he's not horrible.
I forget the guy's name. The guy that sort of has like a monkey face, like nothing. I think it's Ed Malloy or something.
Yeah, and that guy that was betting against the.
Yeah. Oh, Kane Fitzgerald, the guy that threw LeBron out. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah. Yeah. What about the guy that was betting against the Lakers in like the 2000s?
Oh, Tim Donahue. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That old betting scandal. So, okay, well, we are now at 3 sells, 1 buy, 1 hold.
He's always selling my stuff, guys. He don't like what I bring to the table. He's not a fan.
Not today. You're making up the wrong questions.
All right, we're gonna talk about your GOAT. It ain't my GOAT. It's your GOAT. We're gonna talk about LeBron James and Luka Doncic and the cheating Lakers.
Wait, cheating?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You want to go down that rabbit hole? We'll do that when I'm on air next week. Well, don't worry. I'll go down that rabbit hole with you. Um, there is no shot, as Vince McMahon would say, a horrible human being, but no chance in hell the Lakers sniff the finals. I'll change that up. They won't even make it past the first round.
That's a hold because it depends on who they play.
That's
No. My show. I'm gonna give the take, then you can fire back because I know you hate LeBron. Though oddly you love Luca, so I would think that you would actually like this Laker team.
Absolutely not. You got to be kidding me.
Here's the thing: if they get the 2 seed and they play a Houston in the second round, if they avoid Golden State and Denver, they will get to the Eastern or Western Conference Finals. If they play Golden State, I would say they probably win, but I think it'd be close. Denver, they probably lose, but I kind of think maybe this time they give Denver a shot because they could just outshoot them.
I listen, Brandon. You're right. You're 100% right. But they don't have a center.
Yeah, but they going into a series, no matter what series, even against Oklahoma City, they would have, I think, probably 2 out of the 3 best players on the court. Like even against Denver, if Denver has Jokic, the Lakers have LeBron and Luka. Against Oklahoma City has SGA, Lakers have LeBron and Luka. I know Minnesota's playing well right now. I still don't buy Minnesota as a great team this year. Memphis, I think the John Morant situation is what it is. It's whatever. I think it's all matchup dependent. I do think there is a world where this Laker team gets beat in the first round, but there's also a world where this Laker team wins the title.
I
do think that they have a shot. And I've been saying it for weeks, Jalen, that I, with my heart and soul, want a Cavs Lakers finals.
So do I.
It would be phenomenal. I think it would save the NBA from the nonsense it's been for this year because the league's been getting torn apart.
But I will tell you right now, if it is a Cavs Lakers final and we lose, don't text me, don't tweet at me, don't call me, don't come to my house. This goes for everybody out there, all my buddies, you included. Don't call me, don't text me, don't show. I'm locking my door and I'm crying for at least a month straight.
Okay, we have now 3 sells, 2 holds, and 1 buy.
See, I'm buying all these. I'm buying all these. I listen. I don't know. Maybe I'll get you here. I'm gonna tell you this, and you're probably gonna say hold because we don't know much about them yet. They were kind of a shock to come out of the spot they're in. Now we're gonna talk about the Houston Rockets.
Well, for the record, I didn't think that they would be a shock. If you remember, I picked them to be the Magic and the Thunder of this year.
You did say that, and I was on the show for that. Do you think there is a shot that they win the title?
Absolutely not. Complete sell. They have a 0% chance to win the title because they don't have one player on their team right now who you could say is a superstar. I like Ahmed Thompson. I like Jalen Green, and I like Sengun. I think they're all stars, and I think one of them will become a superstar. But I think if they're in a conference with Steph Curry and Nikola Jokic and LeBron and Luka and SGA, and that means they have absolutely no shot at the championship. If they had the same team in the Eastern Conference, they would have about a 10% shot. They would have a better shot than the Knicks, in my opinion. They would probably be the 3rd best team in the East. But as it stands right now in the West, I think no matter what seed they end up, whether they're the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, whatever, They're probably the fifth or sixth best team in the West right now for a playoff run.
That's actually valid. I'm actually not going to fight you there. Okay, I want to talk about the Knicks because
They stink.
God, they lit us up in the first half. Though they did not.
Who cares? The first half of basketball, I'll be honest with you. The more I watch the NBA, the first half don't really mean shit. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, how many times in today's NBA do you have a 15-point lead and within 3 minutes it's gone?
Cavs were down 30-3 against Boston.
There you go, case in point.
All right, we're going to talk about the Knicks. They stink, but I say they're getting swept. What do you say?
Swept? Well, here's the interesting part. So they're probably gonna play Milwaukee, and they're done too.
And they suck too, yeah.
I mean, they stink. Dame has that blood clot, unfortunately, but it really didn't matter because they were a badly built basketball team based off two guys. This is the stink bowl. Like I think Pacers Pistons is more entertaining than this. Uh, I don't know who on the Knicks is going to stop Giannis, but I don't see if Jalen Brunson does not come back, they may get swept. But I'm going to go on the basis that Jalen Brunson does come back. I don't think Milwaukee has the ability to sweep them. Are we just talking first round or are we talking playoffs?
We're talking first round.
Okay. First round, I think it's a sell. I don't think there's a way they get swept. Whoever faces Boston in the second round, especially if it's the Knicks, they may get swept. But I think that series will probably go at least six because I don't think either of these teams are good enough to beat the other team in a 4 or 5 game series.
Oh God, I can't believe I'm gonna have to watch the Knicks in Milwaukee on my television screen.
So
Oh,
that's now 5 sells. I'm doing it as we're sitting here on Sunday, April 6th. So right now, actually, Milwaukee has moved up into the 5 seed over Detroit. They are a half a game up on Detroit. So if the Knicks play Detroit, do I think the Knicks could sweep the Pistons? I do. I don't think the Pistons could sweep the Knicks. So Indiana is almost firmly locked into that 4. So it really comes down to who's in the 5 and who's in the 6.
that's valid. I got another good one for you about the Cavs. Evan Mobley will be the X factor in this playoff run.
Okay. So you haven't heard this yet because it's dropping on Tuesday. But again, for those of you who listen to Tuesday's show, my man, Christian Hidden, is obsessed with the person that wears number 4 of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He thinks he's the greatest player since sliced bread, basically. I mean, the man's got a man crush on Evan Mobley, and I don't blame him. He's crazy, insanely talented. For him to be the X factor on this team, Jalen, I want to say bye, but I think there are better options in terms of X factor. So that's why I'm actually going to sell this again. Because I think Evan Mobley will be phenomenal in this postseason. I have no doubts about him being phenomenal. But in terms of the guy that's going to make the key difference of X Factor, I think is 2 guys. Actually, I'll say 3. I think DeAndre Hunter, whether he starts or come off the bench, I think he will be a major piece and has to produce at that wing spot for us to win a championship. I think Darius Garland has to be on his game every single night in the playoffs for us to win a championship. And I think having Jared Allen healthy is a major X factor because when Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are together, that is a different duo than when one or both of them are not on the court. So for that reason, it's more of I think Evan Mobley's so good that he can't be an X factor.
That's fair. Uh, okay. I got no flack on that one. No fight for you. I agree. Um,
I've sold 6 of these takes, by the way. So for this NBA stock thing, I'm selling these guys.
you're gonna buy this one. I guarantee it. You're buying this next one. Darius Garland will finally make a name for himself in this year's playoffs, like playoff wise. He'll finally get out of that slump that he was in last year and be the DG that we all know.
You know what? I'm going to be optimistic and I'll buy it. I do think it's definitely not a sell. There's definitely a debate out there that it could be a hold, but I think DG has played so well this year that I think he's going to. I don't know about making a household name for himself, but I think he would definitively prove himself as one of the best point guards in the league. He made the All-Star team this year for a reason. I think that is good news for the Cavs, and I think Darius Garland is going to show himself out this postseason.
I'm gonna ask you a sidetrack question here. Name me 10 point guards you rather have over Darius Garland.
Well, I think that answer is I couldn't name you 10.
Could you name me 5?
Let's see. SGA, Steph. I think Luka is more of a shooting guard, so I'm not going to put Luka in there.
Yeah.
I mean, is that it? Is that
That's it? That is it. The man can do everything. The man is 6'1" and will out rebound your center sometimes if he really tried.
I like Trae Young, but he's too small. If Trae Young was 2 inches taller, I'd probably take Trae Young.
Oh no, absolutely not. That is insanity.
Well, I think Trae's a more consistent shooter. That's why I would take Trae.
Yeah, but I'd rather have DG's driving ability over Trae's.
If Drew Holiday was like this 5 years younger, I would probably take Drew Holiday because I think he's really good, but he's old. Like I like Garland better than a guy like a De'Aaron Fox. I like Garland better than Damian Lillard, and even when Damian Lillard was in Portland, I was never much of a Dame guy. I probably like him at this point more than LaMelo Ball. I think LaMelo is a ball hog. No, you know what? I tell you another guy I take over DG. You're gonna hate this, and he's got issues off the court, but God, Ja Morant is a hell of a player.
Ja Morant, yeah, 1,000%. Him. So Ja and Steph.
SGA is 100% yes.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
I take DG over Kate Cunningham right now. Like I said, I take him over Dame. Him and Jalen. You know what? No, I think I'd actually take Jalen Brunson. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I think it's close, but I think Jalen Brunson has carried the team more. Now, Jalen Brunson gets hurt more.
Exactly.
Tyrese Halliburton's a real interesting one. That's a 50-50 to me because they're both in like the prove-it mode where it's like I got to see him go for a postseason run.
I still take DG. He's got the driving ability. He can shoot when he needs to. Well, not really, but not in the postseason. But let's prove something, DG. I'm counting on you, and so is Brandon because he's buying it. So,
all right, let's go to the next question.
All right, let's see. What can I talk? What else can I talk about? Oh, I can talk about probably one of the most interesting teams in the league right now, the Timberwolves. Okay. We can talk about the Wolves because Anthony Edwards is doing a lot of crazy shenanigans off the court. I don't know what you've seen about that, Brandon, but
I haven't. What is this?
You haven't seen this?
No.
This man, to keep it PG, had a child with a woman,
Did not hear any of this.
and then left said woman, and she wants child support. So she took him to court, obviously, as you do. And when the judge was like, Ant-Man, you owe this much, this much, this much, he said, how much I got to pay for the whole 18 years?
Did not see any of that.
You haven't seen that?
Nope. And quite frankly, I don't care.
This man said, how much for the all 18 years of this child's life? So that's kind of crazy. But Ant-Man, so it'll be Wolves Thunder in the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, that is a complete sell. I don't think the T-Wolves are getting out of the first round.
Really?
I think the only way they get out of the first round is if they play Houston or Memphis. I think they're lined up to play the Lakers or Denver, and I don't think Minnesota is as good as they were last year. And I think it took them 7 games and Denver's bench disappearing to beat them in that game 7. Minnesota does play Denver tough. I mean, we saw the other night Jokic scored damn near 60 and they lost, but also Jamal Murray did not play. I think the T-Wolves this year, I think that cat trade was a mistake. I think they are Anthony Edwards or bust, essentially offensively. And I think this year they're not as good as they were last year.
Well, I wouldn't say that because Cat gets himself in a lot of foul trouble. So it's not like you'll have
them in the series last year. Game 7, Cat was huge. He played better than Ant. Remember, Ant struggled in Game 7.
Ant did struggle in Game 7.
He struggled in the Western Conference Finals, too. I mean, that's why Dallas and Luka took him apart.
Yeah, Luka really did cook them, boys. Luka, yeah. Well, I want to talk about the Warriors, though, because this is a very interesting team.
They make me the most fascinating team of anybody.
Yeah, this is a very, very interesting team. The Warriors will make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Okay. Let me actually think about this. I'm going to do some out loud talking. So, do you remember when Golden State got off to the hot start? I know me and Josh started on championship rings, and I said it's not going to be sustainable. And it wasn't. They fell under 500. They looked like a very bad basketball team that was mostly Steph checking up threes and Draymond Green committing technical fouls and nothing else. Then they got Jimmy Butler. And I didn't think Jimmy was going to be like this guy that puts them over the top. I thought maybe it takes them from like a play-in tournament team to like a 6 or a 7 seed. But all of a sudden, they're like 12-2 with Jimmy Butler, and they have crawled up all the way to, at this point right now, they are 5th in the Western Conference. Now, saying that, they are only a half a game back of 8th in the Western Conference. So, the West is absolutely a madhouse. And I look at this and I go, okay, could they beat Minnesota? Yes. Could they beat the Clippers? Yes. Could they beat Memphis? Yes. Could they beat Denver in a 7-game series? No. Could they beat Houston? Yes. Could they beat the Lakers? Yes, they could, though I think it'd be difficult. Could they beat Oklahoma City? Probably not, but there's a small chance. So the likelihood is going to be, can they avoid Denver? And looking at the standings, they would almost have to go to 6, and Denver would have to be 4 for them to meet in the Western Conference Finals. So, to me, it's a hold. It is a truly 50-50 proposition and depends on matchup.
You just broke that down in the most perfect way, and I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed it.
That sounded convoluted.
This man broke it down into different sections. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was actually perfect, and you're 1,000% right. But now we got to talk. We got to talk about something. We got to talk about probably the weirdest team in basketball right now, the LA Clippers.
Yeah.
Right? Probably the weirdest team. They got the coolest stadium or the coolest arena though.
The Intuit Dome is insane.
Yeah. But they are the dark horse of the West.
Jalen, you're probably gonna hate this answer. This is a complete sell. And
Oh, come on.
well, do you want to know why?
Healthy quiet.
Because number 2, at some point in the first round of the playoffs, is gonna bump knees with somebody and go, "My knee hurts today. I don't really feel like playing. My knee hurts again." And the Clippers are going to be dumped in the first round. I mean, they're pretty much locked in to the play-in tournament. Um, I mean, I guess. Well, I didn't realize they've won 4 in a row, so they could get all the way up to 3, which they don't really feel like the third best team in the West. You know what? For the first,
Oh yeah.
for the first time in the history of this show, forget what I said. I'm changing my pick. This is a hold. It depends on if number 2 is healthy and what seed they get. I didn't realize, on full transparency here, I thought they were like closer to Dallas's record than Golden State's. I didn't realize how hot they were, that they could get all the way up to 3.
Listen. You know how much I love Kawhi Leonard.
Oh my God, he's a robot. I mean, has he ever missed a mid-range jumper in his life? I've never seen him miss a mid-range jump shot.
This man was 24 years old, locking down prime LeBron James. You're telling me that's not robot?
And just talking. I don't talk to anybody. I just hoop. I mean, he went to Toronto, out of all places, and won a championship.
Man said, Vince Carter, nah, I got it. Don't worry.
Here's the problem, though. The best year the Clippers had since he's been there was the year he was hurt.
He's got bad knees. And you know who I blame for that? Zaza.
I was going to say blame Joel Embiid. He gave him bad knee syndrome.
Well, no. Well, yeah, that's yeah. I'm blaming Zaza because Zaza stepped on his foot. And then from then on, he always had ankle problems, and then it turned into knee problems. Speaking of, off track, but if Zaza never steps on his foot, let's be real here. Let's be real. We all know what's happening.
They're not beating Golden State in that series.
Oh, yeah, they are.
I think Greg Popovich is an old man who thinks he's better and knows everything about basketball.
No, back then he was an old man back then, but he's not like as defeated as he is now.
Yeah, well, I hope he never comes back and coaches Victor Wembanyama again. That's my
all right, buddy. Don't disrespect the GOAT, coach.
I will disrespect the GOAT. He had Greg Popovich is the most single overrated head coach in the history of the NBA.
How can you even say that?
I was thinking about this the other day. The Spurs dynasty is nothing but luck.
Absolutely not.
They won titles during a year and time where the NBA was down. The Spurs have not been good in a decade.
But when LeBron wins a tournament ring, he's the greatest to ever do it.
Hey, I never gave credit for the Mickey Mouse fucking. Excuse my language. I never swear. I never give him credit for.
I'm getting Brandon fired up on a Sunday.
I never give him credit for the in-season tournament. Now, I do think the bubble was difficult. I do. He was the only person that wanted to be in that bubble.
Yeah, probably because you can't stand Savannah.
Oh.
Okay. I can't stand her either.
Can we get to the next question, please? We have time for like 3 or 4 more.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's talk about the East dark horses because I want to know. I want to
Okay.
know your take on Chicago. The
A-
Chicago,
Okay.
Chicago Bulls.
After this question, I want some takes on the NBA in general. If you get my drift.
Oh, you want general takes? Okay, I got a couple of those.
Okay.
I got a couple of those. Okay, I thought I had to say strictly playoffs. That's on me. That's on me. Um, but will the Bulls be the dark horse of the East?
What did I say earlier? They have no chance to get out of the first round. Zero. If they play Detroit, maybe. If they played Indiana, sure. If they played Milwaukee, they beat them. If they played the Knicks, they could beat them. They cannot beat Boston or Cleveland. And that
Well,
is who they're going to play. They have no other chance to play any one of those two teams.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. 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 Now let's talk about the worst team in the NBA, in my opinion. Not record wise, just like dumpster fire. Let's talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. They should blow up Joel Embiid, Paul George, get them out of there, and start tanking again.
I have one hold for you. Otherwise, it is a complete buy. But this is why I hold it. There's a kid out there from Duke University named Cooper Flag. And if the Philadelphia 76ers land Cooper Flag, I think you got to try to run it back. Now, maybe you move off Embiid and you try to pair Cooper Flag with somebody else along with Maxey, or you run off Paul George, who was a shell of himself this year. If they don't get Cooper Flag, it's an absolute buy. You trade Paul George, trade Joel Embiid, trade Tyrese Maxey, or keep him, whatever you want to do. Trade two of the free. I don't really care because Sixers are a dumpster fire. Number two for Duke is what would save them.
Oh, well, he didn't save you last night, pal.
Oh my god, don't. Sick to my absolute stomach. Oh my
I,
god. I'm watching that going, it's down to six. It's down to four. Wait, it's down to two. Whoa, wait, Houston has the lead? What? 10 minutes without a field goal? Are you kidding me?
I know you were watching. I know exactly.
Down the train. Oh my god, that was the most painful loss of a team that I have absolutely no affiliation with whatsoever in my life.
I get it.
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
I get a I get a text from Brandon, guys. Absolutely sick to my stomach. How did Duke lose? And my response was the pain of sports. I'm so sorry.
No, it wasn't how did Duke lose. It was how the bleep did Duke lose.
You go. You had the lead with like 30 seconds left.
They had a 14-point lead with 8 minutes left. They had a 9-point lead with 2 minutes left. They had a 6-point lead with 30 seconds left. And in college basketball, the shot clock is 30 seconds. Lost.
And what did I tell you? I told you Duke was gonna choke it. Anyways, let's talk about number two. Number two, Cooper Flag, your boy. My boy.
I'm having serious conflictions here.
I think he's gonna be a dog, but do you think Cooper Flag will be a bust?
Oh, I don't think he'll be. Well, I'm going to sell it, but I'm going to preface it by saying this. I think Cooper Flag is in a historic situation. Let me explain to you why. If I am Cooper Flag, I am using the NIL and I'm using my brand and my name and my image and my likeness to my advantage. And I am telling Duke and I am telling the NBA, I am not making my decision on going back to school until the NBA draft lottery. And I will be
Mm.
trying to force Duke to pay me more money to go back to school. I will be trying to force a Chicago, a Philadelphia, a San Antonio, a Miami to, if they don't get the draft lottery, trade every draft asset they have for the next 15 years to come get me because I am refusing to go to Washington. I am
Utah.
refusing to go to Charlotte. I am refusing to go to Sacramento. And I am using my power to basically somewhat decide where I want to go. I think Philadelphia, Chicago, San Antonio, Miami are my four spots. Maybe even Dallas too. Other than that, I'm going back to school.
That's my next question was San Antonio is Cooper Flag's best fit.
Best fit. Okay. I'm going to hold that. I would love him and Wemby together.
I
I
know you
think
would.
great.
That would be your dream. That's
But
your man crush right there.
Jalen, here's the issue that I have. For whatever goddamn reason, in the history of the NBA, outside of like the little years that Jordan and Bird and the Bad Boy Pistons were together, why for the last 25 years has seemingly every good freaking superstar in the NBA been in the West? I mean, in the Eastern Conference right now, forget Giannis. I mean, he's a great talent, but the Bucks stink. The conversation of the best player in the conference is literally Donovan Mitchell. No disrespect to Mitchell, he's a very good player, or Jason Tatum. Like the Eastern Conference needs Cooper Flag.
So Toronto then?
No,
Like
no, Chicago or Philly. We need a big market with a big brand with good basketball history. Toronto wouldn't be that bad, actually, think about it, because they have RJ Barrett, they have Scotty Barnes. I wouldn't mind Toronto. But Chicago and Philly, Philly to me is number one. I think him and Philly would be awesome. That to me is his best fit. I like the Spurs. I just think for the NBA's sake, he needs to be out east.
that's fair, but what about LeBron James? LeBron James was a star in the East for years.
Yeah,
And that's me.
but
That's
but
me
now
saying that.
but now look at the East. It's Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, and look at the West. Wemby, because his team is like a 13th seed, even though he got hurt at the end of the year, he's forgotten about because up top we have SGA, we have Jokic, we have Kawhi Leonard, we have Steph, we have LeBron, we have the Houston guys that are coming up, we have John Morant. The West doesn't need another one. I mean, think about it. Cooper Flag is in the West, how deep the West will be. They might as well forget conferences. And it sucks for us because all these games start at 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast. I don't really watch a ton of the West in the regular season, admittedly.
I don't either unless it's like a big game. Like if it's Lakers.
Lakers Warriors, like Thursday night, with LeBron and Steph, I think is our new Magic versus Bird. You may disagree with me on that, but like, I don't know. They faced off in 4 straight finals. There's something there.
I would say that's the closest thing we'll get to Magic and Bird. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Let's go. We can do 2 more questions. Let's do a NBA Finals question, and let's do a NBA general perception of the league question because the league's been beat up this year.
Okay. Can I start with the general perception?
Sure.
Because I like this idea a lot, and it has to do with the All-Star game. The the All-Star game, instead of the format now, it should be what the NHL did. The four the
The
14
U.S. against the world, and all.
exactly.
Okay, I'm selling it. Um, and this may come across as cynical, but let me explain my thoughts. And I've been consistent on this, and the viewers at home are probably sick and tired of hearing me talk about this because I've talked about this since the All Star game happened. Um, I think USA versus the world worked in hockey because I think hockey is Canadian sport. It is their sport. Everything going on with politics right now with them and President Trump. And just the fact that Canada in general is really passionate about hockey and they want to defend their territory. I think in the NBA, we've already seen it with the NBA bubble 4 years ago. And we know how much the NBA can dabble into politics, and we know most of them are obviously leaning to one side of the aisle. And I think also because of the fact that it is an all-star game, and we know how the NBA generally takes the all-star game as opposed to it is official out there in the Olympics. I don't think NBA players are as patriotic as hockey players. And I don't think they would fight as hard for a U.S. versus the world as hockey players do. And I also think you would have an unbalance of rosters because there are still not enough international players that are good enough to make all-star teams, and for that reason I think more Americans would get snubbed. If I was commissioner of the NBA, and they'll never do this because of money, I don't think we need an all-star weekend. Period. I think we can announce the guys on social media. The dunk contest now is with G Leaguers. The free point contest is whatever. You could do that at halftime of the NBA draft lottery if you really wanted to. Um, that's my take on All Star Weekend.
He's a Mac McClung hater, guys. Don't.
Listen, the guy's a great dunker. The dunk contest this year was entertaining, but he is a G Leaguer. This is All Star Weekend.
Brandon, he's been doing this since he was a sophomore in high school.
And a G Leaguer should not be an All Star Weekend. It should be reserved for all stars. I don't think there should be a Rising Stars Showcase BS. I think that these young kids should sit down, and if you're going to have an all-star game, watch how the greatest players in the world do it.
Listen, all-star game, dunk contest, all-star dunkers, great dunkers. Mac McClung is a great dunker. He's been doing it since he was in high school.
Should go out on TikTok and go out in the street and dunk basketballs for money is what he should be doing, because he's not an NBA player. I'm sorry, he's not.
Brandon's hating. All right.
Jalen, did you know Max McClung has not scored a single point in his NBA career?
And he's won 3 dunk contests straight.
Yeah, to me, that shows how much of a joke the dunk contest is.
It does, but the man is creative.
He is, but I hate the scoring system nowadays, by the way. Oh, everything's going to be 6 through 10. You do a little dunk, you do a little rise in the air. That's an 8. Stand up, everybody. How about sit down? That's about a 2.
Oh, yeah, and then they had Jesser be a judge. Love that.
I remember that. Oh, my God. This week is going to hell. Oh, my God. Cavs, Lakers, everybody, save the NBA.
All right, here's the final one. My heavy hitter. This one's heavy for you, and I think you're gonna hold it because it really depends on who's there. But we haven't seen a Game 7 in the NBA Finals in 9 years since mine and yours, Cleveland Cavaliers, raised the trophy on that fateful night. So, I will ask you this. Will this year finally be the end of the 9-year drought where we haven't seen a Game 7 in the NBA Finals?
I think it is more likely this year then we will get a game 7, then we would get a 5-game series. I think that if it's Oklahoma City and Cleveland, there's not a big gap there. If it's Oklahoma City and Boston, there's not a big gap there. I think if it's, Lakers Cavs, not a big gap. I think if it's Lakers Celtics, not a big gap. Denver Cleveland, or excuse me, Golden State Cleveland again for a 5th time, not a big gap. Denver Boston, not a big gap. Um, Denver Cleveland, I would worry a little bit, even though we have 2 big guys, about how we would guard Jokic. But I still think there's not a terribly sized big gap there. So, Jalen, I'm gonna shock you.
You're
This is
buying
a
it?
buy.
Yes.
This is a buy. This is a buy.
Yes.
I think if it doesn't happen this year, then I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I think this is the biggest gap we've had. I know in the NBA, it could be in all of sports between the NBA, Major League Baseball, and NHL. Maybe the MLB went 11 years, I think, or maybe it's 2000 something to 2011, I want to say, of not having a game 7 in a championship series. I think it changes this year.
The MLB, it hasn't. We haven't seen 7 since.
No, 2021 we did. Remember, Atlanta?
Yeah.
Or no, was that 6? No, we got Washington went to a game 7. Remember?
Yeah. What year was that?
That was
that
2019.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Atlanta won in 6, right, against the Astros. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yes.
In 6, I believe. Yes. So we have not, but the NBA, this is the largest gap. Yes. I agree. I'm buying it, and I really hope we do. Well, if the Cavs are in it, I don't want a 7 because that is the most stressful thing
By the way,
ever.
how crazy would it be if it's Cavs Warriors and it goes 7 again? It would look like a misprint on the NBA record.
Or what if it's Cavs Lakers and they go 7? How poetic would that be?
That would be, I am here to say, if the Cavs and Lakers play and it goes 7, it will break the 2016 record for most watched NBA Finals game in history.
Oh, yeah.
The NBA needs it. The NBA is in a bad place right now, in my opinion. You watch the NBA and you watch college basketball, it's 2 different sports.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more passion behind college basketball.
Not just that, but these guys in the NBA now are just jacking a freeze, and everybody's playing the same way. That's the problem. It's not just 1 or 2 teams are doing it. It's every team.
Well, yeah. I'd say we're like decent about that.
But we can do it because we got 8 or 9 guys. Atlanta's got 3, and they're trying to be us.
Yeah. I'd say we're pretty decent, though. I'd say we got a good inside and out game.
So, with that, this has been Buy, Sell, or Hold NBA Playoff, a little bit outside of the playoff edition of Brandon's World with Jalen Sandvick. Always a fun time. Like that clip from the Brandon's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brandon's World podcast right here on YouTube.